Hi and welcome to Grad, the channel where I'm going to be answering my viewers' questions on how they can manifest a condition or manifestation for themselves in their life. So today's is quite interesting because it's come through several people, but it's the same question. So I find that really funny when you pour momentum into something, how it just picks up energy like an avalanche just ready to spew into existence. And it is this: how can I get into my dream career, namely beginning with the process of applying to medical school? And I had two people ask about law school as well. How can you attract an acceptance to an educational institution? So, as always, my process is to begin with why you want the thing that you want and to understand on a much deeper level that you have a right to want it. It sounds simple, and for many people it is, especially when you've lived enough, when you're over 30, over 40, you don't feel very defensive. Human beings are inherently very, very defensive. When they want something, they feel that they have to convince people why they want those things. They feel they have to convince themselves, persuade themselves that it's okay because someone along the road made them feel bad about wanting certain things, something like that. So firstly, why would you like to get into medical school or law school, become an architect, a CEO, self-employed, want money without working? Whatever it is, truly, I mean that. You get to want what you want, so you don't have to justify it to me. I don't need 500 words on your question or your desire, unless that's what you want to give me, that's fine. But you get to want what you want, and this means anything. So one of my favorite people, who's truly I admire and respect with my whole heart, is Iyanla Vanzant. Before she began her spiritual teachings, she was a lawyer, and she grew up really disempowered. She said, I was a teen mom, I had several children, I was married, she tended to take her own life, always on welfare, and she said, subconsciously, I wanted to feel power. And that's a powerful job to have. So I just said, okay, I'm gonna go to law school. She was seeking power subconsciously. You can do that. You can say, I want power, I want money, I want status, I wanna feel important, I wanna be respected. It doesn't have to be about the work. The energy will flow that will make you good at that at some point. But if you make peace with why you want it, it will help. So you don't have to get too defensive too early on. You'll usually kill your own desire when you do that with your own doubt. Actually, you do it to yourself. So I don't care if you want it, for whatever. I don't care if you watch one too many Suits episodes or Grey's Anatomy. It doesn't really matter. It's between you and yourself. So don't justify it to yourself or to me or to anyone else. Write it out. If the top 5 things are the more superficial reasons, like I mentioned earlier, just make peace. Say, yes, I deserve to feel powerful. I deserve to be important. I deserve to make a lot of money. I work hard. I know my worth, and I'm going to do my best for everybody that seeks my service. So yeah, why wouldn't I? That's fine. Make peace with it. That's the first thing. The second thing, I would say, usually for students and younger people, under 35, is to bolster confidence. Cultivate confidence, cultivate self-worth, cultivate self-image. That's why they say fake it till you make it. This works for a reason, And what do they say? Synapses that fire together, wire together. So you want to really convince yourself that you're a person of importance. The reason I emphasize this for people who are going through the educational system is everybody knows when you're in school, there's someone very smart who doesn't work very hard, and they always do really well. It's because they're confident. And from that place of certainty, they're able to summon the energy for the right answer. They say the right thing at the right time. They're looking at the right page. Something clicks. Do you know? And the people who are tense and nervous and they always have tutors and they're always doing extra stuff, they're just mediocre. Most of us are just mediocre because we're not really feeling powerful when we do the things that we are told to do. So if you can say to yourself, okay, I've decided to embark on this journey for my career, for my education, the first thing you do then is just to make peace with it and then try to feel confident. Because I find graduate programs are very intimidating some of the time, or a lot of the time. Usually they're very intimidating. So people want it so much to get in there, but they're looking at all the reasons that they can't. They'll say, okay, this school offers 400 places and there's 10,000 applicants per annum. It's like, why are you looking at that? Those facts are not your friends. when you write something, like your, letter of intent, you think to yourself, envision it, I really belong there, I would do well there, I would add to the culture, I would elevate the faculty, whatever the case may be. Feel free to use these words if it helps you as well. But as you're writing it, to think of all the reasons they should choose you gives that neediness, that essence of desperation. So even if the person was to read your letter, it would just go right over their head because they're trying to match up with a specific momentum. So really, even if you haven't had, clocked 800 volunteer hours or you're not well connected, none of that really matters. Speak of yourself as someone with purpose, with mission, with momentum, with intention. Like, I want to study because I know I'll be good at it because I said so. Maybe not those words, but speak of yourself as someone who regards themselves, holds themselves in high regard, and certainly regards themselves very well. So work on your confidence. Don't try to shock your system too much too fast. If you're somebody who has generally low self-esteem and maybe you're not really sure of what you want to do, trying to ingrain that in yourself aggressively will just cause more resistance. I believe, your subconscious, your spiritual and emotional body has its own immune system that your physical one does. And it's trying to protect itself because it's unfamiliar. So if you're like, I'm the best, and you don't feel the best, then it's gonna reject that. So you just incrementally feed it. You familiarize it with all of that. So it's definitely possible. Now, I'm not one for methods, but if you are, put yourself in a nice feeling place, in a good mood. Maybe it's neutral, you just did your laundry, clean sheets, light a candle, you're in your room, you're getting ready to unwind from the day. Maybe as you sit at your laptop to write those applications, be they for jobs, for school, whatever, visualize what it would be like to be there. Get into that corporate culture, the culture of that university. Do you see yourself there? Do you enjoy being there? Are you getting a coffee, meeting new people? And just try to put yourself in a good feeling place where you're a little bit excited, feeling a little more than neutral, just a little bit above neutral. And then begin the application process and see how that goes. Never do something from a place of fear. I mean, especially not a knife fight. You don't have to charge in either. Just try to feel settled in yourself and try to feel easy marshmallow-like energy. It's like doughy and soft and sweet. You will get much more from that place of generality than being very specific, because when you're very specific, if you're not strong in your belief, you're full of doubt. You tend to doubt yourself. So just focus nicely and softly and do that. Now, the final thing I'd like to say is when I speak to younger people, especially people going through school, there tends to be a common tone of urgency. I think it's just a part of being younger. Like most older people are just very relaxed. After they turn 40, they tell the world they can kiss it. But for young people, everything is so urgent and everything is so intense and exciting, and it needs to happen now. So one thing I will say is, whether you get in or not is not the point. It's how you feel about yourself. So I would say, is it necessary for you to get in this semester or this year? Try. I think everyone should try to chase what they want. But there's always another year. It's not going anywhere. So I think once you soothe yourself and say, you know what, the school's been around for decades, maybe hundreds of years. It's going to be there next year. It's going to be there in 6 months. It's all right. Soothe yourself. Your path will unfold. You'll figure it out. Sooner or later, you get there. But when you soothe yourself by embracing that time for you and your journey doesn't have to be linear. It can kind of zigzag. And sometimes most times when you're zigzagging, you get there a lot faster because you're actually excited about what you're doing. Then it will work out. Now, I wish that for you, and I wish you the best. Thank you so much for the people who wrote in and asked. I thought that was amazing. It was like an actual trifecta of student questions, and I hope it helps. And I'm pulling for you, I'm rooting for you, and I know you'll get it done. All the best to you. Bye-bye.